Well, welcome everyone back to the Business Owner Spotlight. My name is Dan O'Brien, Senior Partner here at Action Coach in Central Texas. Today I'm sitting down with Wilton Rogers, the CEO of Simply Automate. And I'm so excited to just dive into some conversation, learn a little bit more about your business here, Wilton, and ultimately kind of your journey. How did you get to where you are today, background, all that fun stuff, and maybe uncover some stories as we go. But Wilton, welcome. Thank you so much for spending the time with me here today. I'm going to kick it over to you. Why don't you share just a little bit about your background and tell us about your business?
Yeah, well, Taylor, thank you for having me. I appreciate it. You know, yeah, my business is I have an automation company. If you would have told me like 5, 6 years ago, I would want to have an automation company, I would have been. There's no way. I wasn't even in technology. But I think it's because my background is I've been a serial entrepreneur. I've been owning operating businesses since, gosh, back in the days. I mean, I used to sell eggs when I was in seventh grade. So I've had that entrepreneurial spirit for a very long time. So I've owned and operated a lot of businesses. But then when I saw the opportunity for in technology and art, specifically RPA, what it could do, and because of my experience being in small businesses, I was like, wow, if people really knew what kind of software is out there that can automate to really simplify their businesses, it would be a game changer. And so I leaped into the industry, but I quickly found out that it wasn't available for the smaller businesses. It was, I was living in the enterprise world and making the enterprise money, and you sort of get sucked into it because there's so much of it out there, and you sort of forget, why you get back in the business, and then all of a sudden you get hit over the head with like, an opportunity to see like, okay, you could be a trendsetter or a pioneer for this in smaller businesses. So I sort of took the leap and left my comfortable seat that I was having, and in 2019 went ahead and be like, okay, let's move back. I told my wife, let's move back from we were in Houston, move back to New Mexico, and so okay, well, what do we do from here? I have something here, and I know it can help out companies, but what do I do? So I just use all the resources that I had been part of and relations that I had built over the years in the industry and on the enterprise, and just got some feedback from them. And little by little, I started doing more consulting work and understanding more software and how it can really be a service provider for any business at any size, because they didn't know what they needed. They just know they needed help. And if I know how to automate things for them, I was like, I can help you. I can help you. That's all it was. I was like, hey, dude, I can help you. How much you paying that? You can move them over to sales. You can move them over to there. We'll save you. I could probably save you about $10,000. What do you mean? And that just became a question that because I already knew the software. It sort of took off like that, and then we knew we had something. Like, okay, we have something. Let's sort of build this up and just try to build something out of it. And that's sort of how the business grew. And that was 3 years ago, and here we are. We're still at it, still chopping away. But yeah, that's my journey.
That's awesome. And you used a term RPA just for the audience. Can you define what RPA is and tell us a little bit more?
Yeah, I wish they would have never named it RPA, because it's Robotic Process Automation. And when you explain it to somebody, they're like, oh, it's robotic. So they right away just think, well, I'm not dealing with it. First of all, it's too expensive. It's just hardware thing that's going to be around. They always think different thoughts, right? But it's really, it's a software, and it's a business automation. And basically all it does is if you're doing something manual and it's repetitive and it's mundane, these are things that can be automated because there's rules built behind it, and there's a logic built behind it. All you got to do is follow that logic and follow that, and that data will take you where you need to go. That can all be automated. Now it takes all that manual work out away from you. Now your employees can do more productive, tasks that are going to be more revenue driven or client driven processes. And that's what we see for small businesses, because small businesses are needing that. They
Mm.
don't need people to push the paper around and all that. They need people in front to talk to other people. We're like, oh, this is a gold mine. It is a gold mine because we know that we can make it affordable for businesses to see that instant change. It's like, if we can build the background for this, and a company that can educate people along the way, they could easily slip into this. And that's sort of what we've been on the trying to create.
It's fantastic. And I'm curious because I know, especially for at least many of the business owners that I've had the privileged to chat with and get to know. Knowing what to automate and kind of understanding that can be a bit of a challenge. What are some of the most common things that y'all work with businesses on automating?
Yeah, well, we go to a lot of different things, but I think one thing that people can really at least grab a hold of is the simple things are like, inventory processing, invoice processing, bank reconciliation, data scraping, sales orders, things that are really done that you have to grab information from, let's say, a spreadsheet, put into a program, save it here, send it out to everybody, add all that up, do all that. Those type of things seem to be the ones that people can pick on right away. And they're like, oh yeah. And what I usually tell people, I'll say, if you know what you're gonna do the next day, and you can figure out what you're gonna do the following day, if you do the following day, then that could be automated.
Mm.
Because you already know the sequence, you already know the logic. It's like that could be automated. If you know what you can do, it could be automated. As long as it's not talking to a human like me and you, that can't be. But as long as you see there's a kind of pattern behind it, it could be automated. And so that's the easiest way to find out. So I think for us, it was that was the easy way for people to find out. But invoice processing and things like that are the ones that people can say, okay, if I at least try that, I'll get a sense of what this really is.
Nice. Well, that's fantastic. You had mentioned, I think, at least a little bit ago, you'd mentioned the value of being able to automate some of these types of things so that team members or the owner or whomever's in the business can go do the things that are highly productive, the things that are revenue generating, that are client facing, things like that. And I don't think that can be understated. So I appreciate you mentioning that. It's so important to understand the value of time and being able to get out there and
Mm-hmm.
do the things that are most impactful to building and growing a business and having the impact that ideally the owner wants to have on the marketplace that they serve.
That's right. As a small business, people like to hire people to help them deliver the message that they created. Whatever they're dealing with, a restaurant, if it's just a store or a client, a membership type environment, fitness, whatever it is, they want to hire people to share their story, right? That's really it, to show what they can do.
Mm.
If small businesses want more people they'll rather pay more people to do that than add up receipts every single night, right?
Mm-hmm.
And that's why we say it's a gold mine for small businesses, because that's their mindset when they're thinking about that. Corporate level, they're thinking about cutting heads. They're thinking about, hey, if I can automate all this, I'm going to take 100 jobs away. That's going to put $100 million back into our investors' pockets. They're going to be happy with us. We're happy. As a small business, it's a totally different mindset.
Mm.
Totally different mindset. And we figured that out, and no one's playing that in that area. So we're like, okay, there's something on here. So yeah, so it's been fun. It's been a lot of fun.
Excellent. So I mean, you had also mentioned that asked you 6 years ago or so, and this wasn't even on the radar. Not, I think you had said you weren't in technology, weren't in kind of this general industry. Kind of what was that process like for you to make the transition and kind of get into something that's a little bit different? I'd love to hear a little bit more about kind of what you went through to learn what you had to learn and kind of go through that journey.
Yeah, well, again, being a serial entrepreneur, um, I know the meaning as service. You build a company to really service people for what you're good at. And and that was my, if I knew I could impact more people, I would figure out a way to do it. I did that in the mortgage industry. I tried to do that in the fitness industry. I would sell company. I tried to just do it. Whatever I did, I just tried to. And when RPA came along, I realized, being a small business, I knew all those feelings. I just feel sure with you. I'm like, oh, if I could do this, I could do that. I can have people doing this. I don't have to be doing this. I can be focusing my time and energy physically and mentally on this, and not be stressed out about this. So all that was going through my head. I'm like, I could do something here. because I knew the trend. I was in RPI already, so I knew that it was very early and it's catching on fast. But it's catching on the enterprise. It was like blowing up. I mean, we do one, and then all of a sudden, within a year, we did 12 within the same company. Did 12 deployments, right?
Wow.
It was just moving because they saw the benefits immediately, And when I saw that, it was just like, okay, we could do that for a smaller market. In all everything that's up comes down. Everything that the enterprise has, people are going to try to figure out ways to make it affordable and available to the small market. It's in every technology. It doesn't matter what it is. And I knew that, at least, even though there wasn't anything available yet, but I knew that. And so when other software companies, some more RPA vendors are coming in that were more affordable, I start checking them out and using them and having our developers that I built relationships with over the years check them out and start working on them. And then we just little by little just started figuring like, okay, we can get smaller companies. We can get smaller companies. Let's try to do a company that has two people. Let's try to do a company that has one person. And we're like, oh, dude, we did it. And so now we can do. So we start, So for us, we said, okay, now that we do it, now it's time to educate because no one, for one person, every 100 people we talk to, 99 of them think we're crazy, and the other 1% were like, okay, you know what? I had my appointment. Someone cancels, so I'll let you jump on. That's how we felt, right? So, but we know that was the market, but we knew we had something. So we knew we had to figure out how to, whether that storm, we figure out how to really start presenting to that sector. And so we rode the wave, and we started staying in the mid market to support what we were doing. And at the whole time we were building on with our finances for what we were building in the mid market, we were investing it back into the educational part and building our smaller market, and so that's where we're at. So it's been it's a bootstrap environment. It's been bootstrapped the whole time, but the growth of it and what we see that we have now we have people coming on board now wanting to partner up, saying, "Hey, what you have is going to take us years to build. You already have a turnkey model. Let's work together." Type. So because they know that we're in the industry, like we're not going to step on each other's toes. A small market, not for a long time, So this try to push what we know to other people that they can at least present the right way, So we're building partnerships now. So yeah, so that's how I got into it, but it was never technology. But I saw what it can do. And that's sort of, I was like, okay, this can affect millions, like not like hundreds that we used to think about. This can affect millions, and it's going to. It's just how much of that can we do? So that's where we're at.
That's fantastic. Absolutely exciting. I love hearing that. So, I always like to ask the question, especially in entrepreneurship, overall. So, serial entrepreneur, done things before, kind of into this journey now today. I have yet to find. So, maybe you're the only one that I've talked to now, but I have yet to find a entrepreneur that said that it's a perfectly linear path. It's always positive. Everything is great all the time. Typically, there's kind of some peaks and some valleys, some things that go well, some things that maybe don't go as well as planned. So I'm curious, how what were any kind of major setbacks or roadblocks that you had to overcome, either individually or as a team or as a company, along your journey that have really kind of defined and helped you become who you are and where you are today?
Yeah, I think there was a great question. Well, first of all, I've never met a person in my life that's had it the easy way. No way. And if they have, it was by stroke of luck, and they didn't keep it very long, right? Because they didn't know how to handle it, right? So the ones that are up there are very humble because of their experience, and I've been fortunate to have a lot of those humble experiences through my 30 plus years of entrepreneurship, 40 plus years of entrepreneurship. I'm getting old. But I think for me, knowing the circle I surround myself with prepared me for not making as many mistakes. But I think the turning point for me is thinking that I knew my circle, who my circle should be. But when you get to a point where your company has the opportunity to really do something on a whole bigger level, the circle becomes, you lose sight of certain things that can derail you.
Mm.
And we ran into a couple of situations that that really could have put us under. And this was just recently, to be very transparent. It was just recently because there were some very big mistakes that should have been identified earlier, and it caused a lot of shift of the corporation. But just because we knew what the industry is, we knew there just has to be one deal that people have to believe that we can do it and we can do something. That's sort of was my mindset. And literally after that happened, 2 weeks later, it hit. It just like, and it wasn't in our budget, it wasn't in our books, it was nothing, it just hit. And that was a sort of the breathing room that we sort of need, like, okay, that's what we need to understand, that that's your test. You know what to do from this point on. Take your time and do it right. And that's sort of the learning curve, because I know where we're at right now. Opportunities coming, and well, opportunities here already. We've already had plenty, which is we're very blessed with. But the big one is will pop. You know, if you stay in the game long enough, the big one will pop. For us is to make sure that foundation is solidly built, so when it does go, that it's had the right direction for a very long period of time. And so, you know, making sure that your circle was tight has been a work in progress, and a lot of, you know, so and I've gotten very tight with that, and I put up a lot of walls, but it's just because I'm protecting something bigger than me. And so yeah, so it was a tough go. So being an entrepreneur is not easy. You have more sleepless nights because you're a risk taker. You're gonna do things, and you're responsible. You're responsible for people and things.
Mm.
It's a lot of responsibility. You know, it never goes away. The bigger you get, the more responsibility you have, right? So you're always gonna have that little gut, and you're saying like, "Oh my gosh," you know. But it's not for everyone. So no, it is not. It's not easy. But when you are doing it and you love what you do, it's fun. It's not really work. It's just you just happen to work a lot.
Love that. So true. Just kind of understanding all of that in the journeys. So I want to be respectful kind of the time that we've got here in such today. So I've got really just kind of two. We'll end on kind of two additional questions here. So first one here is, what gets you excited as you look, for the future of your business, of your industry now, the future for you specifically? What gets you excited? What gets you up in the morning, gets you fired up? What's on the horizon that's exciting to you?
Yeah, well, I appreciate that. Well, what I get excited for is being able to touch my feet on the ground every day, first of all. So, you know, that's excites me. So I get that opportunity to do something. But right now, my excitement is being able to be part of something that is going to be a game changer is going to be a game changer for millions. And having a little piece of your experience and knowledge and resources involved with that is what drives me, because I see the opportunity here, and being able to deliver it out to where it becomes a trusted source and a very easy source, or a very easy way to relate information, is to smaller businesses, allows me to know that you're doing everything you can to help out businesses, you know, tell their story. And so that drives me.
Fantastic. So before I jump into the last question here, for the audience that wants to get in touch, that wants to learn more about what y'all do, maybe has some needs for automation, or should be at least having some conversations around what that looks like for their business, how can they find out more? How can they get in contact with you? Where can they follow you if it's on social, anything like that? But what's the best way to get more information?
Yeah, no, I appreciate it. The easiest way is we're on LinkedIn a lot. All of us, I post daily. We post on our LinkedIn page daily. Our website, we have some information on our website. We're making some changes to our website, but you can ask for information on there, and we'll deliver, you know, industry specific. You put industry in there, we'll send you use cases there. So the website is good, but if you want more knowledge, you'll be able to contact somebody. Connect with us on LinkedIn. LinkedIn is the go-to format, and we're always there. We're always talking and communicating and having some good times on there. So yeah, in fact, we have our RPA show live on LinkedIn every Thursday. So yeah.
Beautiful. Beautiful. I will make sure to kind of put all those in the description, video description below. Make sure you all get a chance to go click on it, follow, check out all the information, connect with them. Really important, kind of some fun stuff there. So Wilton, we're going to end on kind of my final question that I like to end all the interviews on. Kind of relates to the previous question, but it's a little bit different. And that's, what's inspiring to you today, or what's most inspiring to you?
You know, I know it probably sounds cliche, but you know, my I'm inspired by my family, and I'm inspired because um, at a young age, being able to understand the history, the culture, and my of where we were raised and what we came from, what I became wasn't expected, right? Um, I was different, and so I think you know, my inspiration comes a lot from my family, but also you know, my wife, and it just in being able to have the freedom to do what I do and believe in what I'm doing allows me to really push further, because I have someone that says that, you know what, I got your back, do your thing. And for me to be able to see that, and then being able to share our life together and give back, and hopefully get back in a bigger way as we get older. That's so inspirational to me. It's like, you know what, I could be able to live a life like this. It's amazing. So that's what gets me up every single morning.
Absolutely beautiful, my friend. I appreciate you sharing that.
No problem.
Well, Wilton, I appreciate so much that you spent the time to sit down with me today. This has been a phenomenal conversation. I know it's going to be something that resonates with others out in the marketplace. So I just appreciate you spending the time and sharing it with me today. And um, genuinely, thank you.
And I appreciate you having me. Thank you.